The future isn't coming. It's already here, and scientists are conducting some of the most mind-blowing, reality-bending experiments ever attempted. From human gene editing to AI-controlled weapons, these bold projects have the power to reshape life as we know it, for better or worse. Some could cure diseases, extend human lifespans, and solve global crises. Others? Well, they might unleash consequences no one saw coming. But progress doesn't happen without risk. History has already shown us that one wrong calculation can lead to disaster. See Chernobyl, Y2K panic, and the Challenger explosion. So as we explore these 15 daring experiments, one question remains. Are we advancing science or playing with fire? Number 15. Creating artificial black holes. Well, it's real. Physicists have already created miniature black hole-like effects in laboratories, manipulating high-energy particles to simulate gravitational distortions. Some theorists even suggest that the Large Hadron Collider, aka LHC, could, under extreme conditions, generate tiny black holes. While scientists insist that any lab-made black holes would be too small to be dangerous, there's still an unsettling thought. What if we're wrong? If a micro black hole didn't evaporate as expected, could it start swallowing everything around it? Even if we don't destroy Earth, messing with black holes could unlock new dimensions, quantum mysteries, or time distortions that we don't fully understand. Best case, we gain deep insights into gravity, time, and space. Worst case, we accidentally doom the planet to a slow, inescapable collapse. Number 14. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence. For decades, SETI has searched for radio signals from alien civilizations, but some scientists are taking it one step further, not just listening, but actively sending messages into deep space. The hope? That an advanced extraterrestrial civilization will hear us and respond. But should we really be inviting unknown aliens to visit? What if they're hostile? Some researchers, including Stephen Hawking, warned against this, arguing that if aliens can travel to us, they're far more advanced and might not see us as equals. History has shown that first contact between civilizations rarely ends well. Still, the search continues. If we do make contact, will it be a historic moment of unity or the beginning of humanity's last chapter? Well, if you have seen alien invasion movies like The Day After Tomorrow or Skyline, don't imagine those kinds of stuff. Number 13. Growing human organs in animals. Imagine needing a new heart, kidney, or liver, and instead of waiting for a donor, a lab grows one inside an animal just for you. Scientists are already experimenting with injecting human stem cells into animal embryos, allowing pigs and sheep to grow human organs for transplantation. It sounds like a medical miracle, but it raises some serious ethical questions. Could these humanized animals develop human-like intelligence or emotions? What if the genetic boundaries between species blur, creating hybrids that challenge what it means to be human? Then there's the risk of cross-species disease transmission. What if a virus mutates inside an animal host and jumps to humans in unexpected ways? Well, we don't know. But what we know is that doing this kind of experiment isn't just worse, it's insanely terrifying. It's just our opinion. Number 12. Space colonization. For decades, or maybe for centuries, the dream of colonizing other planets was pure science stupidity. But today, scientists and billionaires alike are racing to make it a reality. NASA, Elon Musk's SpaceX, and China's space program all have plans to send humans to Mars. The goal? To build self-sustaining colonies, ensuring humanity's survival in case Earth ever becomes unlivable. Sounds exciting, until you consider the risks. Space radiation, bone deterioration, psychological isolation, and the simple fact that Mars is a barren wasteland make long-term survival anything but certain. And let's not forget the ethical dilemma. Should we really be focusing on Mars when we can't even fix Earth? If it works, humanity could become a multi-planetary species. If it doesn't, the first space settlers could die alone on a freezing, oxygen-starved rock, and Mars would become yet another expensive human graveyard. Number 11. Lab-grown meat and human food engineering. Imagine biting into a burger that never came from a cow, or eating a leg that doesn't belong to a chicken or goat. Well, that's the promise of lab-grown meat, a technology that aims to end factory farming, reduce environmental destruction, and solve world hunger. Scientists are growing real animal cells in a lab to create meat that's genetically identical, without the need for slaughter. Sounds like a win-win, right? Well, maybe not. While lab-grown meat uses fewer resources, it's still crazy expensive, and long-term health effects remain unknown. Will our bodies react the same way to lab-grown proteins? Could this meat introduce new allergens or unforeseen health risks? Then there's the bigger question. If we can grow animal meat in labs, what's stopping us from growing human meat? The concept of ethical cannibalism has already been proposed. Suddenly, that futuristic burger doesn't sound so appetizing. If successful, this could revolutionize the food industry. But if it goes wrong, dinner could take a terrifying turn. Number 10. Anti-aging research. For centuries, people have searched for the fountain of youth like a blind wild dog without a tail. Today, scientists believe they might have actually found it through genetic engineering, cellular regeneration, and advanced medicine. Aging isn't just a natural process, it's a disease. And like all diseases, it can be treated or even reversed. Sounds incredible, but here's the problem. What happens when people stop dying? Overpopulation could spiral out of control, resources would become scarce, and society would have to redefine work, retirement, and family. Then there's the risk of only the rich getting access, creating an even greater class divide. And let's not forget the biological consequences. If cells don't age, do they also stop evolving? Could this create new health problems we never predicted? The idea of living forever is seductive, but the reality could be far more complicated than we imagine. If this works, humanity could conquer aging. And if it doesn't, we might create a future where we live longer, but regret it pretty badly. Number 9. AI-controlled weapons. Killer robots aren't just the stuff of sci-fi movies anymore. Governments and defense companies are developing autonomous weapons, AI-powered machines that can identify and eliminate targets without human intervention. The idea is to make war more efficient and reduce human casualties. But here's where it gets terrifying. What if these machines decide to act on their own? Unlike nuclear weapons, which require human input, AI-controlled weapons could think for themselves. If programmed incorrectly or hacked, they could misidentify targets, escalate conflicts, or even turn against their creators. Ethicists argue that outsourcing life or death decisions to algorithms is a dangerous line to cross. Yet governments aren't slowing down. The race for AI supremacy is in full swing. But should we really do that? Well, let us know your wild theory in the comment below. And let's be real, if every country owns one, then who's gonna win? Number 8. Mind uploading and digital consciousness. What if you could live forever, not in your body, but in a computer? Scientists are working on digitizing human consciousness and mapping brain activity so it can be transferred into AI or virtual reality. Theoretically, this could allow immortality, letting people exist inside machines, simulations, or even robotic bodies. But is a copied consciousness really you? Or just a digital clone that thinks it's you? And what happens if someone hacks your mind? If cybercriminals can steal bank accounts, imagine what they could do with uploaded human memories and personalities. Then there's the philosophical nightmare. If we can upload our minds, will physical bodies become obsolete? Will we even be human anymore? The best thing about this experiment is that we achieve digital immortality and live in a paradise of our choosing. Worst or baddest case, we trap ourselves in a technological prison where death is no longer an escape. Number 7. Cloning humans. Dolly the sheep was just the beginning. Scientists have already cloned animals, embryos, and even human cells, so full human cloning is only a matter of time. The potential? Saving lives through organ cloning, reviving extinct species, and even allowing parents to recreate lost children. But that's where things get ethically messy. Would cloned humans have rights? Would they be treated as second-class citizens, or even used for spare body parts? Then there's the identity crisis. Would a cloned person truly be the same as the original? And what about military applications? The idea of mass-producing engineered humans for combat is a terrifying prospect. If cloning falls into the wrong hands, it could lead to exploitation, genetic manipulation, and playing God on an industrial scale. Done right, cloning could redefine medicine. Done wrong, it could erase the meaning of individuality, identity, and human rights. Number 6. Geoengineering. Global warming is spiraling out of control, and some scientists are proposing drastic measures to fix it. The most radical is geoengineering, deliberately changing the Earth's climate. Proposed solutions include injecting sulfur particles into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight because it creates artificial clouds, and even using giant space mirrors to block the sun. But tampering with nature on this scale is asking for unintended consequences. What if we trigger huge droughts like we did before? Well, you can Google. And hurricanes, or disrupt ecosystems beyond repair. Could some countries weaponize the weather, causing climate disasters in enemy nations? And then there's the ultimate gamble. What if we cool the planet too much? Instead of stopping global warming, we might accidentally cause global freezing. The science is still experimental, and one wrong move could make our current climate crisis look like child's play. If it works, we could prevent climate catastrophe. If it fails, we might just turn Earth into an uninhabitable ice ball. Number 5. Synthetic biology and artificial life. Scientists aren't just studying life, they're creating it. Synthetic biology allows researchers to engineer new forms of life, tweaking DNA to create custom organisms that don't exist in nature. The goal? Curing diseases, creating sustainable biofuels, and even designing life forms that clean up pollution. But when does science go too far? Some fear that synthetic organisms could escape the lab and mutate uncontrollably, leading to biological dooms or even new pandemics. There's also the ethical dilemma. If we create life from scratch, do we bear full responsibility for it? And then there's the ultimate question. If we can create new life forms, are we still humans, or have we become gods? Well, we can revolutionize medicine, energy, and the environment, but it also comes with a pretty bad outcome that we just cannot even think about. As we say, playing God is not always the best. So, let's do something good, not something insanely stupid. Number 4. Resurrection science. Dinosaurs won't be roaming the Earth anytime soon, but scientists are actively working to bring back extinct species like the woolly mammoth, dodo, and Tasmanian tiger. Using DNA samples from preserved remains, they aim to recreate these lost animals through cloning and genetic engineering. It sounds exciting, but have we learned nothing from Jurassic Park? What happens if revived species become invasive, throwing ecosystems into chaos? Or what if we resurrect deadly pathogens along with them? Then there's the ethical side. If we bring back mammoths, do we owe them a proper environment? The world isn't the same as when they roamed it. Would we be bringing them back just to let them suffer? If successful, we could undo some of the damage humans have caused to biodiversity. If not, we might revive more than just animals, and some things should stay extinct. Number 3. Neural implants. The ability to control technology with your mind is no longer science fiction. Neural implants like Elon Musk's Neuralink promise to let people communicate telepathically, enhance memory, and even merge with AI. But what happens when big corporations or governments get access to our thoughts? Could hackers steal memories? Could authorities erase or alter information in people's minds? And if our brains connect directly to the internet, are we really in control anymore? The potential is enormous, curing paralysis, boosting intelligence, and even living in virtual worlds. But the risks? Losing mental privacy, corporate control over thoughts, and potentially losing the ability to disconnect at all. Now, the best thing about is that we break the limits of human intelligence, so anyone can become anything he or she wants. And worst case of this experiment is, we become nothing more than biological hard drives for an AI-controlled future. Number 2. Quantum computing. Traditional computers are fast, but quantum computers? They operate on a whole different level. Unlike normal bits that can be either 0 or 1, quantum bits, qubits, can be both at the same time, allowing quantum computers to solve problems millions of times faster than today's most powerful supercomputers. The good? Breakthroughs in medicine, artificial intelligence, and materials science. Quantum computers could simulate new drugs, create unbreakable encryption, and revolutionize finance, logistics, and climate modeling. The bad? They could also crack every security system on Earth. Bank accounts, classified countries' files, Bitcoin wallets, nothing would be safe. And if rogue nations or hackers get access, cyber warfare would hit a whole new level of chaos. Right now, quantum computing is still in its early stages, but once perfected, it could either push humanity forward or destroy the digital security we rely on. The question is, are we ready for it? Number 1. Human gene editing. The power to edit DNA was once the stuff of science fiction. Now, thanks to CRISPR, scientists can cut, modify, and rewrite genetic code with surgical precision. The goal? Curing genetic disorders, preventing diseases, and even enhancing human traits. The potential? Erasing inherited diseases like cystic fibrosis and sickle cell anemia, making humans immune to viruses, and even boosting intelligence, strength, or lifespan. The risks? Accidental genetic mutations, unintended consequences, and a slippery slope toward designer babies. If CRISPR becomes widely used, we could see a future where the wealthy edit their children for perfection, while the rest of society is left behind, creating a genetic class divide. There's also the risk of unintended mutations that could spread through generations, altering humanity in ways we can't predict. It's not just good or bad. It's about playing God, and we've seen the result thanks to history. So, what do you say about these daring experiments? Drop your theory below, and if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.